lamp oil, rope, bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies.
Hello everybody. Salvadoran Warrior here to bring you another class mod review. This one's a bit different, and I'm really hoping a certain company is real cool in uploading this because this is not from Red Hook Studios, and what I'm about to show you is coming from one of my favorite series since I was a child. I present to you the hero class, aka Link from The Legend of Zelda. Yes, and everything that every Zelda fan would know is all in his movesets, trinkets, and a little bit of his dialogue. It's a little comedic sometimes. But for now, like and subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. If you're interested in playing your favorite character or your favorite Smash character, I'll leave a link in the description just so you can check it out. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that intro. For now, I'm ready to talk about all of this stuff because it was really confusing at first. And there's one more trinket that I haven't got from this character yet, which is the light arrow. But I really don't know what that does. I'll write it in the description if I do find it, but it is on the page too, so that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you can see on his base stats, everything is decent except for the crit a little bit. It's a little decent, but his health is pretty good. So that makes him a honorary wow. That makes him an honorable frontliner. Yes. A really good frontliner with some pretty interesting combat skills that will boost his survivability. And just so you know, if you do eventually get him, he naturally comes with pretty good quirks right off the bat. So make sure you lock in Blade Master, Evasive, and this is something different, but don't worry about it. Natural Eye is also okay too, only because he has a lot of range moves. But with that aside, his resistances are insane. 100% stun, 100% blight, 100% move, 100% bleed, and then everything else is like whatever's. He can disarm traps pretty easily. Debuffing is going to be a little harder on the enemy. He can easily get sick, and you know how I feel about death blows. But above here, this is already insane. Already insane. You can technically say he's the perfect frontliner if he can tank all these things with his HP. Now, in conclusion, base stats are interesting for a frontliner, but his resistances makes him the wet dream for frontliners. Now, let's talk about his combat skill finally. And there's going to be a lot of references with his combat skills, so it's going to be pretty funny. Prepare for me to gush a little. His first combat skill is Thrust. It is a melee skill that can be used in positions 1 and 2 and can hit enemies' positions from 1 to 2. Accuracy base is 105, so that's pretty good. Crit is at a 9%, and if your HP is above 80%, you'll do 30% more damage. I meant 85%. So, you know what that means? Link needs to be at full health. And if possible, if you have like a pretty good dodge trinket, that also makes him pretty good. Well, when you get to Champion 5, like this is what he gets, and when it gets added to his dodge numbers, oh yeah, you know he's not going to be getting hit anytime whatsoever. But yeah, he'll be doing crazy amount of damage because of this move, and I mean crazy amount of damage. So always have this guy at full health. And if anything, in the original Zelda games, Link was able to shoot his little... Well, his moves were more powerful if he was at full health. So, if you got hit once, you'll lose the beam sword, and that'll be it. And it was kind of like that for quite some time until it was removed in the 3D versions. But then they brought it back in Breath of the Wild in a bit. Man, Breath of the Wild was really fun. But let's continue. Hurricane Spin is a melee move that can be used in positions 1 to 2, and is an AoE move that can hit from positions 1 to 2. Accuracy base 105, which is really good. Doesn't do, crazy amount of damage, but it's decent because it has that -40 penalty. The crit, however, is 5% as a knockback of 2 positions on the enemy side. And if at 85% HP, it will do 30% more damage, just like the thrust move. But unlike the thrust move, Link suffers a debuff of -5 dodge and 1 speed. They usually last for 1 round. So, with that said, keep this guy at full health. Don't worry about the debuffs. It's not too bad. Maybe the speed a little bit, but other than that, this isn't too bad. I would only do this if you know that the enemy is about to die. Even if they don't die, they will get pushed back. So, talk about messing around with the positioning on the enemy side. Makes things a lot easier. And if you know your knowledge of the enemies, their movesets can be messed up if moved in different positions. So Hurricane Spin is also a really, really good utility that you want. So there you go. You could technically spam this move a lot, but I wouldn't recommend it because the knockback isn't technically guaranteed. There'll be times you'll get it, times that you don't. Some enemies have high resistance of knockback, so don't expect it to be used all the time. If you know your stats, however, then by all means use Hurricane Spin. I use Hurricane Spin. It's good. And that Spinaroonie attack has also been in the Zelda series for like a really, really long time. So I was really, really impressed that the mod creator added this in. So really, really good stuff. The next move that was also in the Zelda games all the time is his bow, which is now called Steady Shot. It can be used in positions 3 to 4 and can hit enemies from 2 to 4. Range accuracy is 110, which is really good. The move suffers a 25% penalty, which is fine because you'll be doing 75 instead of the full. And the crit is at a 13%, so that's really insane. If marked, Link also gets to do 70% more damage. Now, here's the tricky part. Um, your regular arrows will do decent damage, but along the way, right? And this is me jumping ahead with the trinket section. If you get either an ice arrow or a light arrow, they will have different effects based on what you shoot. Like for here, if you're holding an ice arrow, you know, you'll do 25% more damage and you get the stun, and you know, you'll de-stress yourself. I mean, you'll get stressed out with 10% stress, but who cares? And I don't know, man. They don't have the blah blah blahs, but they only have two arrows, light and ice. Where in the games, the ice arrow was like really OP, to where light arrow was something that you used for the final boss between Ganon. However, I don't know if the light arrow is good in this game. I'm pretty sure it is. Just don't have those two together, because if you do, you're gonna suffer like a really bad debuff, which is right here, negative 180 accuracy. Don't do it. Please don't do it. For the love of God, don't do it. Let's move on to the next video game reference combat skill. Courage is a combat skill that can be used in all positions and gives yourself a negative 14 heal, stress heal. And description reads, quest for the goddess favors to awaken your true power. Now, in the Zelda series, the lore of the Zelda series was that there were three goddesses. One who made the ground, one who made life, and lastly, the one who created the sky. And when they all came together, they formed the Triforce, the three pieces that held the world together. And if anyone were to collect all of the pieces of the Triforce, were granted one wish of their desire. The three pieces of the Triforce was wisdom, courage, and power. Jesus Christ. So, with that said, if you manage to collect all three pieces of those gods and goddesses, here you have Pharaoh's Wind, which gives you 7 points of dodge, 2 points of speed, and even though you get stressed out 15% more, at least, you'll give yourself extra dodge and speed, which is really good. And you can actually use the combat skill Courage on your teammates, so even better. Now, the other two ones, I didn't think they were all that great, but I'll read them anyway. Din's Fire boosts his position 4 for 20 more damage, 10 points of damage in position 3, and in positions 2 and 1 get a negative. And if they get hit with the buff, the friendly ones, oh man, you'll get even more. This only benefits position 4, but I guess I can see how you can use this buff if anyone's in position 4, like maybe the Arbalist, the Musketeer, stuff like that. The last one, Naru's Love, just gives you protection, and you get double protection if it activates. And I thought that was kind of cool. Again, you can use this combat skill with anybody. It's not dedicated towards Link, but I'm pretty selfish, so all of this goes to Link. I sometimes do it just to, stress heal the team if they need it. But, the dodge is nice. The speed is nice, so there you go. The next combat skill is Hookshot, probably the most useful item in the Zelda series. And if you're a speedrunner, there's like some sections that can be used with the Hookshot. Sometimes they don't even use um, the Hookshot; they just do something else for a more creative speedrun. But you always need the Hookshot just to see secrets and stuff. And there was a really cool boss fight in Skyward with the Hookshot. But anyways, it can be used in any positions, and it can also hit any of the enemy's positions. It's a range move that has an accuracy base of 105. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it pulls the target through 3 positions and marks them. However, once you use this move, you also get pulled to 3 other positions. So he'll be in the first position if in the 3rd or 4th position, and Link will also get marked as well. So there you go. Now, there is a benefit to using the hook shot if you have this hook shot. See, the duelist hook, which was also in Skyward, if you are marked, you'll get a plus 15 dodge and plus 10 accuracy with a 40% move skill chance. You lose the 5% crit, but who cares? Because the dodge is what you want if you're marked, and being marked is pretty scary, so you want to make sure that's a thing. But that's if you're planning to use the hook shot move, and I guess I would only recommend using this move if you're in a shuffling team. So there you go. Other than that, this move is also pretty good if you have the trinkets for it. The next one, which is also, it's getting old, so you probably know what I'm going to say. Big Bomb. Big Bomb is a move that can be used in positions 1 to 3, and is an AoE hit on positions 2 to 3. Accuracy base is 115, really good. It loses 50% damage, but who cares? Crit mod is 6%, so that's really good. And on hit, shuffles the enemy. Now, what's also pretty interesting is that if there's corpses, you'll be able to clear those corpses with the bombs, and on target they lose 18 dodge. The enemy, not Link himself. This move is really good, but it gets better when you're using the bigger bomb. The bigger bomb grants 25% more crit, 30% more damage, 20% armor piercing, but you get a plus 15 stress and negative 3 speed. But who cares? Just look at all of this. It's insane. Highly recommend if you want to do that crazy damage. That's all I have to say. And bombs have been really useful in Zelda, in Link's arsenal, and a little too broken. Well, not too broken, but helpful in Smash. I'm not a really good Smash player, by the way. I just heard what I heard. Anyways, the last combat skill, which is very useful both in this game and in his main game, is the boomerang. The boomerang can be used in positions 1 to 3 and is an AoE hit on the entire party. Accuracy base is 105, which is really good. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it has a 70% chance of marking a target, and if marked, gets a 30% chance to stun. And if marked, you get an 80% chance to stun. So if you put 30% with the 80, it's a guaranteed stun. Now, what's really useful besides the stun is that it marks the target. So if you're running a marked synergy team, throw Link on this party and they won't even bother using their mark abilities. Even though their mark abilities are really good, this is a really cheap way to just mark the entire enemy, and you can just go ham on them. So really good, just like in the games. The boomerang was really good in most Zelda games. There was even this really cool effect in was it Twilight, where you had the the tornado boomerang. I forget. But speaking of which, going back to them trinkets, if you're planning to use the boomerang like crazy, we get the Gale boomerang, which more enemies are struck, more wind pressure to guide you. Don't know what that means. I haven't used it, I just picked it up. But what is cool is that you get a +4 speed and you get +4 dodge and accuracy if you hit the enemy. So I just thought that was really, really cool. Something I wanted to share. Other than that, even if you don't have most of these trinkets, except for this one, this is really, really recommended. Yeah, all of these, combat skills are just really, really good. It's just that this one requires a trinket to get more usage out of it. This also requires the bigger bomb if you want to do more damage. This requires 3 trinkets if you want the benefits either on yourself or your teammates. And this one, it's like okay, it's whatever. But if you have the hookshot trinket, then all of a sudden it's pretty good. So the majority of these moves can only be really, really OP if you're using the trinkets. But you'll get them over time. Don't worry, you'll get them over time. Now the camping skills are probably like one of my favorite things about this character, because I was really impressed that they kept all of the sound effects for it. For an example, when you play the Song of Time, it literally plays the Song of Time. And when you play the Ballad of the Windfish, it plays that song. And except for these two, but they have their own unique effects. But let me go over the camping skills real quick. Like I said, the Song of Time is a time cost 3, and on a party, it only grants 3 speed. This lasts for 4 battles. Yeah, even though it's cheap, with 3 cost, it's just 3 speed. Do you really want to give your entire party speed? I questioned this with another camping skill similar to this, only this time it only grants 2 speed. Still, if you want, I guess, but I only do it because I want to hear the Song of Time. I think it's awesome. The next camping skill is Ballad of the Windfish. It is also a time cost 3, and it just de-stresses the party by -20 stress heal. That is an amazing stress heal for a camping skill. Most camping skills usually give like 10 heal and 10 stress heal, and you're supposed to sit back and be like, okay, I guess. But this one, no, 20. I'm gonna give everyone 20, and 20 is a big number in the Darkest Dungeon. So with that said, that's pretty good. Would recommend. Would recommend. The next camping skill is the Sword Beam. You don't really see beams coming out of the Master Sword, but what you do see is a 25% big boost if your health is above 85%. This is a time cost 2, and lasts until you camp again. I highly recommend this camping skill, not because it's cheap, but it doesn't last for 4 battles. It lasts until you camp again. So I guess I can say it's broken. The last broken camping skill is Navi, aka the friendly friend. Thank God you only see Navi in Ocraina of Time, but other Navi clones or somehow more annoying than Navi itself. But she's broken because it's a time cost too, and only on the self grants plus 50% more damage if they're facing a marked target. This lasts for 4 battles. Yes, 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 yes. I recommend. So let's go over the trinkets one more time. So I already talked about these two. I talked about this, and this, including this one too. Later on, you'll get like other trinkets, like this one, which is whatever's. This one is pretty good. This one and this one. You don't want to have these together, but they do different things. This one's okay. This one is kind of good, but I would recommend use the other trinket because the other trinket, the gauntlet one, I know it grants like 25% more damage if you're in position 1, and I just feel like that little gauntlet right here was a lot better than the other trinket. Yeah, you lose speed, but who cares? And then of course there's this trinket, which I kind of recommend. The golden gauntlets grants a plus 15 damage, negative 2 speed, and it grants a knockback on 3 positions. And this could be used in any ability that you're using. So really good stuff. And if you want to know the team comp, what team comp? Link's good in any team comp. You could throw him in a basic team, you could throw him in a shuffling party team, you could throw him in a Mark Synergy team. So he's pretty much set and ready to go. Overall, this character may be too OP, but you know, if you're a Zelda fan, why not, dude? If you just want to have fun and not deal with characters like this, I recommend you try out this character. This character is really fun. The mod creator went through, I'm pretty sure they worked their darndest to make this character. There was even a Christmas event where not only there was an update, but an event where you get to pick up Link right then and there. So yeah, overall this character is really fun, and I had a blast playing with Link and other things with Link. Even though he may be in the darkest dungeon where everyone isn't really a hero themselves, Link is the true hero of time, and doesn't really fit the theme. But then again, if you remember, most Zelda games, they had some pretty dark themes. Majora's Mask had a dark theme. Twilight somewhat had a dark theme. And then of course Breath of the Wild was just a tearjerker, man. So don't think the Zelda games are all about sunshines and happiness. There are some moments in there. So Link fits this theme perfectly in the darkest dungeon. With that said, once this video ends, you're gonna see more what Link does. It'll be kind of exciting. And I'll leave a link in the description, both the event and the character themselves. And by all means, check out this character. And I'll see you when I see you. So take care, stay safe, and later.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it. success so clearly in view? Or is it merely a trick of the light? More bones returned to rest. Devils remanded to their abyss.